So let's kick off our Augustlauding by focusing on Dad. My earliest memories have us right out in the backyard playing catch with baseball and gloves. It was there that Dad gave me some of his earliest and impactful words, intended to help me for baseball, but also applicable in life. Don't be afraid of the ball, he would say. Have confidence in yourself. And before I knew it, he was heaving the ball a mile high, and I'd find my way under it, and bam, I'd catch it. That story provides the basis for Dad's support for me over the many years of sporting events that I participated in. If it were possible, Dad was there rooting me on, usually the most vocal fan in the crowd. We laugh now over the awkward comments made to umpires and referees, often in questioning their judgment. The slightly embarrassing situations for us back then make the memory fresh even today. Your verbal encouragement and support will forever be remembered, Dad. Thank you for those wonderful moments. Dad's love of sports started at a young age, but not only did he play the games, but he excelled at them, giving him notoriety with his friends and even the local news. You can see articles on the memorabilia table. Butch Jirik carried Riverside Brookfield for the win. It wasn't only the remembering of Dad's success that spurred me on, but the wonderful stories that surrounded his growing up. Guys getting together down the block at the local park to play ball every day in the summer, or he and his friends and cousins clearing the ice on the creek to skate and play hockey for all hours in the winter. It was so fun to hear those stories, and it caused me to wish I could have been there. I was grateful for my dad's fun childhood and the fun that could be had with a bunch of your friends and a ball or puck. Dad's competitive nature has only somewhat diminished over the years, hampered only by his complaining body. From high school, baseball and football, it went to softball, bowling, and water volleyball, to name a few. In his later years, he accomplished what only a handful of people have ever done. He bowled a perfect game. 120 pins up, 120 pins down. The thought of this alone causes me stress. 7, 8, 9 strikes in a row. The 10th frame requiring the difficult turkey in its own right, but he did it. An achievement that blows me away. Way to go, Dad, a legendary accomplishment. Dad was not just good at playing and supporting sports. From a small child, I remember how hardworking he was. He worked on a big printing press as a lithographer for a company called Veritone. I got to visit the shop a few times to see the massive presses printing huge sheets. Dad would ensure by the many adjustments that the colors were just right. He had a little glass that he would look through to see the pixels and make sure that they were all aligned correctly. He cared a lot about his work, and he was a leader on his press and in his field. Not only with And when the new computer automated presses came, Dad learned those too. Not without a bit of complaining, but he did. It was a great example to me, and although Dad took pride in his work, he always encouraged us to have high goals, to keep learning, and to reach beyond what he was able to accomplish. He wanted us to have a fulfilling life and work we could be proud of too. He was ready to give advice and tried his best to challenge our thinking, but in a positive way. I could always hear the balance he would try to strike in his questions, and I appreciated it. I still do today, for that matter. Not only was Dad hardworking and hard playing, but he understood the value of a dollar. In other words, he was and is a cheap bohemian. And although we laugh about it, being frugal is a principle that brings a person freedom. Not spending more than you have is a message first learned from and lived out by my dad. Thanks, Dad, for your great example. I'd be remiss if I didn't mention the many life lessons passed on by my dad in the form of long-remembered phrases born from previous generations, probably mostly from his father, Frank. And examples include, you run like you have a piano on your back, or you swing like a rusty beer sign. My stomach thinks my throat's been cut, to name a few. We've compiled a list for Dad to enjoy on the memorabilia table. Feel free to add to the list if you've heard Dad say one that we failed to list. And when we first explained Augustlauding to Dad and suggested celebrating the first one focused on him, he was all about it, which is in fact a fun attribute of our dad. First, he loves a party, and second, he doesn't mind being the focus of attention. If you want a great party, be sure to invite Ron. He has fun stories and makes people laugh. I really think Dad likes parties for reasons other than being the life of it, though. His family and friends are important to him, and he loves it when we gather together. The connection is important to him. This is exemplified by his irritation if he doesn't hear from his kids for some period of time. If he calls and leaves a message and I don't get back to him for a couple days, he's offended. I've come to appreciate this as him missing us. A different disappointment for Dad, as we are reminded each and every year, is the fact that his birthday is so close to Christmas, December 28th. He gets cheated every year as a result. And even though we laugh about it, it's a reminder that he likes to get gifts. But he also likes to give gifts too. The best gift Dad ever got is actually one of the best gifts I ever got. Although Dad is more quiet about his faith, it was a huge blessing when he acknowledged his need for Jesus and accepted the forgiveness offered to those who put their faith in him. Having the privilege to baptize Dad was a gift to me that I will always cherish. Hopefully these few things I've highlighted are fun and meaningful to many of us. It's not an exhaustive list, but hopefully one's worth reflecting on. You're a great dad, and I'm eternally grateful for being born into this family. Thanks for your example and leadership, Dad. You deserve to be Augustlauded.